Well, Nebraska continues to rank as the second largest ethanol producer in the U.S. According to a new study, the overall economic impact of the state's ethanol industry was more than $4.5 billion in 2019. Ag economist with the University of Nebraska-Lincoln, Kate Brooks, joins us now for a further look. And Kate, thank you very much for your time here this morning. If you would, tell us just briefly about this report. What would you say are a couple of the highlights?
Yeah, we produced this report in partnership with the Nebraska Ethanol Board. This is actually the third report that we produce on the economic impacts of the ethanol and co-product industry in Nebraska. And so we can kind of look at some of the trends over time. One of the things we note that while the ethanol industry did experience some weakened ethanol prices in 2018 and 2019 compared to some of those previous years, the ethanol industry in Nebraska continues to show resilience. And some of that resilience comes through their expansion in their total capacity, as well as their diversification of some of their co-products beyond distillers grains into things such as corn oil and carbon sequestration. Almost all of Nebraska's ethanol and about half of our state's distillers grain and corn oil that are produced here are actually exported. That helps with that economic impact. This is a net positive impact for the state, as sales outside of Nebraska represent that direct economic impact to the state by bringing new money into our economy.
What impact does ethanol production specifically have on corn prices?
Yeah, when we look at corn prices, there's a positive impact for local corn cash prices around the ethanol plant. On average, near an ethanol production facility, there's about a 21-cent per bushel increase in prices. We've worked on some other studies looking at these direct impacts on corn production to corn producers, and that ethanol increases the value of corn for corn producers near an ethanol plant. But we have to take transportation costs into factor there. So the further away we are from the plant, we might actually have a net smaller amount to those corn producers.
And Kate, do you have any thoughts on the future of ethanol?
Yeah, the ethanol industry, again, continues to grow. As we look over the last decade, we've seen increases in the capacity here in Nebraska, which increases the employment here in Nebraska. But when we look beyond production of ethanol, our producers have continued to diversify to take advantage of those new market opportunities. The co-product industries continue to grow beyond those distillers, grains, and oils. And so I think the ethanol industry will continue to be a large driver of the economic impact of the state of Nebraska and in other corn-producing states as well.
All right. Well, thank you very much for your insight here this morning. University of Nebraska-Lincoln ag economist Kate Brooks connecting with us. Of course, you can go online to agecon.unl.edu for more information.